casting time. Here we have a Novus 1v1 mirror match. We have B as the green Novus versus UpAllNight as the pink Novus. Myself and Warbringer were spectating this game, and Warbringer was just trolling around a little bit, but it doesn't actually impact the game. So, this is a replay. This is not a live cast, so the tools will not be as handy. I can't see resources, and I can't see things as well as I could if I was just normally spectating with the normal losers map hack. Nevertheless, we're going to see a good match here. I've been informed it was an excellent match. I started spectating, but then had to go. And I was told that it was really excellent mid and late game. So I'm looking forward to that. On B side, we have Tech 1 researched and going on to Tech 2 already. However, this is not a Mirabelle rush. I will tell you that now. Mirabelle is going for what people are calling the purified strat. There is a strategy in the Novus Mirror where you skip your early Mirabelle and go for antimatter tanks. And there's Warbringer forfeiting. You can see that no resources were collected, so the sanctity of the game is not affected. When looking at replays, sometimes the camera will snap because it's in the player's perspective who sent it to you. So I have no way of dealing with that, that's just going to happen. We're looking at the normal Novus early game. It always looks like this. There's no fancy things to commentate on, except this is what would tell us that Mirabelle is not coming out for B. We see Tech 2 done, and we should see Optimized Collection come out shortly. I can't click on that. Let's get a nice, cool little action. Look at that collector collect things. Wow, that's epic. Battlecam registered trademark. Look at this constructor constructing. Okay, enough of that. So, UpAllNight side, we see the Mirabelle rush. We'll see her little silhouette be made up here. And on B side, whoa, queuing up 5 antimatter tanks. That's too many. You don't need to queue up 5. You can just queue up 3 and still build other things, and that's plenty. Or even just 1 at a time. Mirabelle could be being trained along with these antimatters right now, if B had not built so many antimatter tanks. Mirabelle will be up for UpAllNight in the next 20-ish seconds. Oh, actually, no, even sooner. That's about 10 seconds, I suppose, total. So she's come up. And we see the first antimatter come out for B. So B's Mirabelle skip has resulted in 2 antimatter tanks. We should see Mirabelle coming out soon for B. There's a lot of floating money, so Mirabelle should absolutely be coming out. And here she is. UpAllNight's Mirabelle gets a constructor. Doesn't finish off the flow conduit because she wants to deal with the antimatters. He targeted the back antimatter, trying to pierce, but it just flew over this antimatter for some reason. And whilst this looks horribly inefficient for the green Novus here, the antimatters are quite overwhelming, and the pink Novus is just behind. UpAllNight actually opts to abandon his recycling center here for a vehicle assembly here, and what looks to be a backup flow gen here. The goal of this strat is to take out the opposing flow generator, and then they're just behind. But UpAllNight knows how to deal with this. He even sacrifices some eco to get this vehicle assembly to help fight off the antimatters and the backup flow gen to deal with this. He's even teching up. This looks like a science center coming in. B is getting some damage in, and it's not looking too great so far. This Mirabelle is coming out extremely late, and I can't tell if B's on optimized collection or not. The replay might not allow me to see this. I would guess they probably are on the optimized collection patch. And UpAllNight definitely getting the favourable trade for the early game. He even gets a bonus flow conduit for what it's worth. And we've got a Mirabelle and antimatter tank brawl. However, UpAllNight does have... It's a vehicle assembly. It was not a science center. And he is not built up this recycling center. He's operating on a very weak eco right now. He managed to fight off the assault, but B has 1, 2, 3 recycling centers to UpAllNight's 2. So B will be sat on a lot more money than UpAllNight. And he finally recognizes this and goes back for it. We're continuing to see antimatter tanks swarm in. And this is going to be a brawl. There's really nothing too fancy to say here. This is just a mirror match and an outright brawl. B selecting all antimatter tanks and venting away from the fight, so that's a bit inefficient, but it's fine. They probably won't fight for a little while anyway. B's Mirabelle is wounded, and UpAllNight's is not, so he has the Mirabelle advantage right now. Whichever Mirabelle has less health has to play much safer, because Mirabelle can run another Mirabelle down. This Mirabelle got an antimatter tank and is now wounded, so the script is flipped. B goes for a snipe, but the dodge. The dodge. Around buildings and stuff, you can hit that dodge. It was a good attempt, though. Could have worked. B has a lot more antimatter tanks here than UpAllNight, and B is just not hitting these antimatter tanks, so they just walk in. They're going to beat up this flow gen, and there is not a backup. That's disastrous. That's the point at which I had to leave the game. Flow gen goes down. I expect a backup to be built already. Yep, there it is. So B is out of power for a little while, which means UpAllNight is going to have the upper hand in the unit production game. B's Mirabelle had several opportunities to kill off this Mirabelle here. If this Mirabelle was chasing UpAllNight's, B would have an advantage for the rest of the match. Power's back up. The anticipatory flow gen was excellent. UpAllNight is now expanding even further. This looks to be another recycling center, question mark. Yeah, it's another recycling center. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 recycling centers from UpAllNight and 2, 3, 4 recycling centers from B. So now UpAllNight will have the superior economy. B's gone for an antimatter tank assault, but her hero is just sat at base doing nothing. This is not an effective attack. Oh! Oh, that hurts. That really hurts. That's a lot of damage. And attacks like this will feed money to the other player. The collectors will happily harvest that. It's very efficient. B is getting her science center up, and UpAllNight does not yet have his, so B is going to have an advantage in technology. Has the eco for it as well. We should be seeing field inverters quite soon, I think. Another brawl. Hard to see who has the advantage here. It's looking to be a fairly even trade. Oh, B was not operating on optimized collection. I can see B's patches. Oh. In that case, UpAllNight has had superior eco all game if he remembered his patch, which he almost certainly did. These antimatter tanks are just going to get cleaned up. Where is Mirabelle? She's licking her wounds. I can't... This is the problem with replays. They just jump you everywhere. Mirabelle health is about even currently. UpAllNight's antimatters are getting the better of B's right now, but B has gone for technology. Hopefully, we see some upgrades to these buildings to provide field inverters. Field inverters are needed. But we're not. We're just seeing more antimatters over and over. EMP coming out for B. UpAllNight does not yet have his technology. So, if B can stalemate here, or the snipe, is it going to connect? It does connect. If B can stall here, the technology will come through and win the game. EMP, of course, being the best super weapon in the game, arguably. And this assault will not be successful from UpAllNight. Snipe goes down, Mirabelle is low on health. And this will be a clean hold from B. Oh no, we've got Blade Troopers! The Blade Troopers, they did the blackout bomb, but Mirabelle is escaping. Okay. Oh, what's gonna happen? Is this Mirabelle gonna die? He's chasing. He's chasing. Mirabelle on 1%. This Mirabelle on 4. 12. Ah! What's happening? No! No! The antimatter tank. Kill her. No, she regens too much. Mirabelle's just dead. No! And that's UpAllNight seeing his opportunity. The antimatter tanks here will get cleaned up. That's something nice, but dear lord. You see flow 2 from B. Dear lord. EMP is down for B. UpAllNight still does not have a science center. I think this is one coming out now. Oh no, this is the science center. There we go. So UpAllNight, realizing he's going to need to tech up, does so. Blade Trooper harassment is looking quite nice. Going for the vehicle assemblies. The clones are of course nice too. Antimatters deal quite well with it because they have AoE. And the power went down. Eh? Oh, a flow conduit must have died somewhere. B just sells the structures and realizes, nah, this isn't worth messing around with. Gets the money. Probably going to rebuild somewhere over here. Maybe around here. And the science center is nearly ready from UpAllNight. We're operating on maximum vehicle assemblies. UpAllNight's Mirabelle is just chilling out and healing. We see a couple of Blade Trooper building assemblies here. There's going to be a lot of Blade Troopers coming out for UpAllNight. We see 4 vehicle assemblies as well. So UpAllNight is building a lot of units right now. B has 1, 2, 3, 4 vehicle assemblies also, and is upgrading one to produce field inverters, I believe. Yep. Oh, a couple. Alright, B is now building a lot of field inverters. Okay. So B will have the higher tier units first. UpAllNight is going for the singularity compressor, meaning he's planning on building the black hole, and the 5th vehicle assembly comes up. The game is so very even. UpAllNight has a hero advantage. He has his Mirabelle. And B has an EMP, whereas UpAllNight does not. One good EMP could decide a lot, and oh my word. Another antimatter tank brawl. Boom, 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 boom. Oh. Oh. We've got Novus using each other's flow, but B entered UpAllNight's flow and then destroyed it, so all of B's units just died. Oh no. EMP went down to do what? Did B think that would cut out Knight's power? I would have thought that's how that would have worked too, but it doesn't. This was crippling for B. Absolutely crippling. Field inverters are out, and this could surprise Knight. We have the black hole gen coming down now. Is B operating on singularity compressor? B is not operating on singularity compressor. If this black hole comes up, UpAllNight doesn't even have to win. He just has to stalemate. And then you start super weaponing the enemy base. Nice shots with the field inverters and immediately flowing back to defend. Using Novus's guerrilla tactic advantage to its fullest. I apologize for my phone. And we see Spectrum Cycle on both sides. This is to deal with Blade Troopers. UpAllNight probably anticipated for B to go for Blade Troopers as well. But even if B does not, the flow conduits will still be revealed. Spectrum Cycle is excellent for revealing flow conduits and denying Novus their dynamic, their tactical dynamic. Field inverters, of course, shredding heroes. Oh my word. And B is excellently repositioning field inverters. And this Mirabelle is alive on not enough. The flow again. Mirabelle goes down. Well played from B. Excellent interception. And that gap has been evened a bit. However, B is the one that's lost more infrastructure. And this black hole is nearly up. There's no flow to escape the antimatters right now. Field inverters should win the fight, but UpAllNight should be shifting to higher tech units himself. We see the black hole gen completed and a redirection turret. Just a random one in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, UpAllNight now has his own field inverters to meet the tech difference. This is starting to look like a win for UpAllNight, but he has superior infrastructure. That's it, bluntly. EMP is about on the same timer for both players. I think UpAllNight will come out just slightly before. 4 minutes 37. Wait. Oh, well, 40 seconds. And B's, I can't see how long. It's about even. UpAllNight just destroying infrastructure, and I think now it's game over. Novus is a very powerful race, but without their infrastructure, they really suffer. They're not so great at rebuilding, interestingly. They're great at building, but not great at rebuilding. And UpAllNight is just systematically picking away at B's infrastructure. Attacking from another angle now. This field inverter is just going to punch down here. We see an EMP come down on B's stuff to disengage. A disengaging EMP, okay. UpAllNight realizes this field inverter is dead, so he just unshields it to get some shots in, I guess. Feels like he should have probably just sold it, honestly. Kills the field inverter. And he's consolidating his forces. He doesn't have to push harder. He took out infrastructure. He knows he's got the black hole ticking, and B probably doesn't know where it is. B relocates to the left-hand side. And you can see Knight's flow network is even all the way out here. Knight owns basically all of this, roughly, in flow. All of this. Just that entire corner where my mouse is going. He owns that, more or less. EMP went down, took out a few field inverters. We see Virus now. Virus in the Novus mirror. Ugh. Disgusting! And Spectrum Cycle is the only thing keeping each other's flow networks in check. Is that redirection shields? Can't tell. Oh, very smart. Changes targets to the one that's actually dealing damage. Oh my word, that was reflection shield. That's so busted. Wow. Oh my god, that's insane. Look how slow this field inverter is, Jesus. Meanwhile, UpAllNight just consolidating his forces once again. I'm not sure what happened. B losing Mirabelle hurt, but I think UpAllNight just had a better assault. I think that's what it boiled down to. He took out infrastructure, whereas B did not. And that's a big deal. Black hole is now on a 1 minute 50 cooldown. This black hole is going off. B is not getting there. It's not going to happen. Worst case, UpAllNight can just stick some field inverters around it, bubble up. B is not getting to it. And the black hole will probably secure the game. I think it should probably be dropped here. He might also choose to drop it here, just to kill more infrastructure. But I think here is the best place. Take out the Science Center, hit the EMP, if he knows where it is. And B forfeits. Yeah, that was a valid forfeit. The black hole was coming in. UpAllNight made 10k more, and that was the optimized collection difference, I think. More than anything else. Obviously, not having so much flow destroyed means that B's collectors had to fly further. But I think that's mostly optimized collection. And the difference in that game, B missed an opportunity to kill Knight's Mirabelle. Knight seized the opportunity to kill B's, and he built the black hole. and B was floating a lot of money at several points in the game. But that was very close. An excellent 1v1. That was absolutely brilliant. Well played to both players. UpAllNight definitely a bit better this time.